And hey, let's get ready for an act two. Let's get ready for another video. I'm your boy Grade A Fantasy. Running back to back since I'm a little bit behind schedule. I should on a normal week have 2 to 3 videos done. So let's catch right back up. Let's get ready for the week 7 FanDuel main slate preview of the running back position. We're going to start with JT. Didn't have the greatest game last week, but of course he's not going to drop like 700. FanDuel dropped him 200 down from what he was last week. So he is now still the highest on the slate at 10 even. You save 800 if you go down to Josh Jacobs. Don't worry about the Q tag. He is just feeling under the weather. So that's why he has the Q tag there. Saquon Barkley. It's going to get to a point where, do y'all remember a couple of years ago when he was on the Giants? And like that Giants O-line was so bad, and it got to a point where it took like the right amount of price drop. And then there was a week where Saquon was like really good chalk at like 77 or 78, and he still had a good game. 1 week he had a good game, 1 week he didn't. If this continues, it's going to get to the point where Saquon's going to have to drop to the low 8s again, like 8,000 or maybe around that. It's going to take him that if he continues to struggle. He's still an option because, Minnesota can be run on a bit. It's normally typically a better fantasy rating wise, but real life wise with the way that defense and that front seven is, it's normally a challenging opposition to run against, especially that front seven. But it's starting to feel like Saquon's getting to that point. But like I said, because they're in the crossroads, that offense in the crossroads of, they're running too much, or they're too predictable, this and that. So, I don't know. But Saquon is still someone that I will get to. But like I said, in a 20 max, it's not something that I would fully key in on. But what I do like is still Devon A-Chain. He's also somebody that I will, recommend. But like I said, it's a tougher matchup. If you're with A-Chain, I feel A-Chain is going to have a tough time running against Cleveland. He's going to have to get McCaffrey type value, and you know what that means? I'm going to say this, even though, yes, I am faithful to the Blue side. I do not do DraftKings at all, except for when I do probably sports betting every now and then. But right now, until they get the touchdown rush equity and maybe some big rushing games, because of how they're still booming in fantasy, they're doing on the receiving side. This will probably be the first time I didn't really get to A-Chain last week. I probably will get to him again because he would need a great game receiving, because point per reception in DK a lot more valuable than 0.5, because you're still gonna have to get the touchdown. You're still gonna have to get the touchdown equity there, and even though he has the ability to do it, I don't see me getting A-Chain and him having 9 receptions and getting 100 yards. He gets a lot of targets. His best day, this is what I think he can get. I think that's what he could do. 22.2. Because I think he has a tough rushing day against this Cleveland defense. And he's gonna have to get this value: 10 targets, 8 receptions, 92 yards. For 8,500 though, because he was a lot cheaper then, I'm gonna at least want him to get to him. I just don't see him getting to 100. He'll have to help me out to get that bonus. If he can do that, then yes. But he's gonna have some type of McCaffrey and him, especially in matchups like this. Better DK plays than FanDuel plays. I will still try to get to him. Didn't have much of him last week. It's gonna be the same thing. That's why I have no problem getting down after Josh Jacobs, skipping down all the way to Javonte Williams. Now that Rico Dowdle's there, is Rico Dowdle a good play? Yes. Is he a good play for fantasy at 7,800 when you have somebody healthy like Chuba Hubbard? No. So I'll be under the field on that. Javonte is where I'm going to next. I'm going down by what I have on my notes. My notes were before Hubbard was cleared to practice, and he is at practice. So that's a no for me. But Javonte against Washington, I'll still take that there. Quinshon Judkins to me is my favorite play. He should be everybody's favorite play against that bad Miami offense. and against a bad Miami offense, it should limit. Look, the key success for Cleveland is Dylan Gabriel not going back 50 something times. Yes, the game script did do that, but against Miami, he's not gonna have to. I see Dylan Gabriel probably get into the mid 30s, and Quinshon Judkins getting the typical. And since he threw 51 times, obviously his opportunities went down 12 from 23, 21, 18. So we're going to get back to the high teens and low 20s of Quinshon Judkins this week. He is my favorite play. Ashton Genty against KC. Nope, I will not have him. That line is not good enough. He has to go against at least an average to below average defense because that offensive line is not opening up enough for him. I will be getting to Breece Hall no matter what at 7,000. Jordan Mason is a good play. I do like him against Philly's defense at 6,900. For some reason, I think with the names around him, I think he's going to go a bit low owned, 6,900. I do like him at that price. J.K. Dobbins, it's a bit of a challenge, but I will have pieces of him at 6,700. I will not be getting on Scatterable running against that Denver defense because I think the way he runs is perfect to how to defend. But I think the value, he's still an option. I wouldn't exit on if I'm using an optimizer or anything, but I just think that there's better options to go around where Scatterable was at, aka Mason, J.K. Dobbins, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. If he can stop the fumbling, 6,600. I love him. DeAndre Swift at 63 will be an option. He'll definitely be in my player pool. If you flip the coin with Haskins and Vidal, it's Vidal. Vidal's the one that had the blow up game last week. 18 carries for 124 yards and still had 4 targets, 3 and 4 touchdowns. So Kamani Vidal against Indianapolis, it's a tough matchup, but 6,200 you can get there. I know when it comes to this Kareem Hunt Pacheco thing, but I think Pacheco showed some burst last week. I think this is one of those where he's showing enough burst against a weak front seven of Las Vegas. I do like Pacheco this week. I think Pacheco can get you a touchdown this week and maybe even get you in the high teens, maybe a 20 score. He's picking up a bit more steam. Like I said, 5, 10, and 10, 7, 7, 12 for 51 against Detroit last week. Like I said, he did look good in the game. I did watch it, so I think he could look slightly better. I think he could get 15, 16. I understand everybody's talking about the new toy Rashee Rice, but I'm telling you, to me, if he spreads it out everywhere, the way to go is Mahomes singles, and you could actually probably garner up all the TDs in a weird stack. You can get Mahomes and then still put a cheap Pacheco maybe in the flex, and maybe you get all the TD value. Because if you stack Mahomes wrong, guess what? He has more weapons than Drake made. You got what could happen to you with the Mahomes? This Mahomes thing with him being so pop can go so many ways. And another contrarian way of doing it is as a cheap Pacheco in the flex. A cheap Pacheco in the flex with Mahomes at QB. But I'm telling you, I'm going to try to stack Mahomes, of course. But there's going to be a lot of me rocking Mahomes. Because there's potential for him to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns against the Raiders this week. There is. So, but Pacheco is definitely somebody that I like this week. Kareem Hunt, I don't look as a threat. He's a running back that I like, but it was early in the season where he was getting more touches and getting the T's at the goal line. And as you can see, now it's a reverse. So I definitely like Pacheco more as we keep going down. If there's anybody that I like, I would say, look here, man, unless one of these guys get hurt, it's like a Green Bay situation. You're going to have to flip coins. It's one of those if you get it right, but they split it so often, and it's a great matchup against Tennessee. But I think until something happens, you're going to still have to go Ramadre. He's still getting the work. And he gets the goal line looks as well. So you're going to have to still go Ramadre. Trayvon Henderson is there, but still is not even getting... You'll have to add them together, and he's getting maybe close or just about double-digit touches. But regardless of touches alone, Ramadre by himself is still getting double-digit carries. So I still give the edge to Ramadre That seems to be more of a 60-40 kind of split. There's nothing really down here that I like, really. There really isn't. Michael Carter, I still like Michael Carter, but guess what? Bam Knight is still getting the touchdowns at the end, so kind of makes it null and void. We already talked about Hassan Haskins. If that ankle injury holds up and they sit him, Keandre Miller might be the best play on the slate at 5,300 against Chicago. Like I said, I mean, I don't think you want to possibly hurt injured goods. So with the possibility of a trade in the next couple of weeks, Keandre Miller will be a great play. Other than that, I don't really see anything like super cheap. I think you could really start, unless, by Friday you get injury news, then yeah, you can get the Keandre Miller. And like I said, if you have to, if you need the savings and money, Ramadre, like I said, it's still over the edge. Like I said, still getting double digit touch, and he's getting the goal line looks. It's not Trayvon. And yeah, there's really nothing here. Isaiah Davis, no. Tajay Spears, no. Ollie Gordon, yes, it looked like he was gonna be somewhat of an issue on the goal line, but no. And DeMarcado hurt his ankle, so it kind of solidifies just Bam Knight and Michael Carter, but not really. But anyway, on top of that, that is the end of the running back preview for week 7. So let's scroll back up and let's get down to business. Pay-ups: Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs. And no, matter of fact, when it comes to pay-ups, that's it. I'm going to stay with Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs. Devon Achane is still an option because of but you already know what he needs to do. He has McCaffrey-like upside because of the receiving. Him and McCaffrey are basically the same play every week, just cheap. He's just a cheaper version of McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. When it comes to mid-range, we're going Javonte. Well, number 1 is Quinshon Judkins, hands down. And then we're going to go Javonte Williams. We're going to go Javonte, Breece Hall. I like Mason. And J.K. and Jacoby Crosby-Merritt with J.K. Dobbins. And as we get down, I guess you could, we'll keep Jordan Mason right there. When it comes to the pay down, I guess you can start with the pay downs at 66 with this kind of slate, because there's nobody really at 5,000 unless we get some injury news. Jacoby Crosby-Merritt, DeAndre Swift, Vidal, and Pacheco. But like I said, when it comes to the way the slate looks right now, without any other injury news popping up, yes, I'm going as of right now, pre-building and trying to work things out. I'm going no lower than Isaiah Pacheco at this moment. But if the ankle injury keeps out Kamara, yes, I will play Keandre Miller against the Bears defense at 5,300. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is your boy Grade A Fantasy. The running back show is now done. Next up tomorrow, tight ends and defense. I'll be saving wide receivers for Friday after hearing some more injury news. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, I keep forgetting about this. I need to start promoting this more in the beginning. I had a decent amount. A couple people kind of dropped out. So trying to fill up this FanDuel private contest, $10 a week. If you're interested, leave your FanDuel name in the comment section. I'll be able to add you. FanDuel now has it updated to the point where you can add on the fly. You can add the day of. You no longer have to add the week before and open spots or do anything like that. You can literally add whenever you want. So if you're interested, want to play a little side games and anything like that, by all means, drop your FanDuel name the exact way it's spelled and listed in the comment section, and I'll be sure to add you. $10 a week, y'all. $10 a week. Started with 11, 12, and then it just started dwindling down, and now we're at a consistent 6-7 people. So the more people in the pot, winner takes all.